One. What is going on, guys? Christian from the Lee and Prey MMA podcast, joined as always by Trenton. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
We're missing Jeffrey tonight. He's on daddy duty. So
Daddy daycare.
Hopefully, God, not that many, too many fucking kids. Not that many kids. He's only got one, luckily. There's too many of those goddamn.
One baby. He's got more kids.
Yeah, but one in
They're
the
all
house.
self-sufficient.
Yeah. So hopefully if he gets time, if he's able to get her down for bed, he'll be able to join us at some point. If not, hopefully he'll send us in his predictions for the fight card this weekend.
Yeah.
I guess if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can see our videos when we post them. Like the videos, comment on them. We appreciate your guys' engagement on the videos. Check out our Facebook page as well. It's Lay and Pray MMA Podcast on Facebook. Like the page there so you can see we post just when we go live with new videos as well. And then check out our podcasts on all the different podcast platforms. You can essentially find them in everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Pocket Breaker, whatever. There's literally 100 different types of podcasting platforms. So you can find us on all of those essentially. Yeah, we're going to switch stuff up a little bit this week. So Trent took the lead this week. So why don't you go ahead and get us started, buddy?
All right. So yeah, I just chose some of the topics for this or for today's podcast. I figured out we could start with John Jones arrest details, and we got a little bit more details that came out or that came to light from his recent arrest. This is number what now? Probably 5.
I
don't even remember anymore. It's hard to keep track.
I just don't even give a shit anymore. That's the problem.
Yeah, it didn't look good. This one seems pretty scary. You know, he came out with his comments saying that he wasn't gonna drink booze anymore, and something to do with the plans of the devil don't equal the plans of God. I don't know, some
biblical
shit.
He posted some biblical shit. Yeah,
but he's posting this stuff to make him seem like, you know, whatever, like he was basically a victim of his own. He's got issues. The dude needs to go back to rehab or stop whatever. He said before that he was going to stay away from alcohol and he didn't. So he needs to stay true to his word. But yeah, some of the details were I think it was on the podcast that we didn't end up posting, or that actually didn't end up happening. We talked about how there was, I think it was something to do with a vehicle damage done or something like that. But he ended up slamming his head against the police car, own head against the police car, which caused a little damage. So that was the vehicle damage done or whatever, or manipulation of a vehicle.
Manipulation of a police vehicle.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And then apparently the woman that was involved in the incident was his fiance, and she, according to the police, had a fat lip and a little bit of blood on her lip, and all she said was that he pulled her hair or something.
Yeah.
And then but his kid was there, or at least one, whatever.
I mean, he's got all daughters.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they all, if any of them were there, it was probably the oldest. And
you know,
that in and of itself is just terrifying.
And it was implied that she said to call the police
to the hotel, the guy at the front desk.
Yeah. And apparently when they got there, he was already fled the scene.
Yeah.
And they found him.
He's popular
nearby.
for that.
Yeah.
He's popular for that.
For fleeing the scene after a crime. So, I mean, it's all kind of speculative at this point. I guess you're innocent until proven guilty, but it sounds to me like he beat up on his wife a little bit. It was a little rough, and in front of his children.
So obviously some of you guys, well, obviously those of you that do know me that watch the podcast or whether you watch us or listen to us. Yeah. If you know me, you know that I was a cop at one point. So I wasn't a cop for very long. I wasn't a very good cop in terms of it just wasn't for me. I wasn't that I realized quick that wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. Because I was 22 years old, fresh out of college, didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground. So, you have to grow up quick.
Our story was semi-similar. I went to the corrections academy and graduated that and realized real quick that I didn't want to do that job.
Yeah. So with that, I have seen a lot of domestic violence. In Alaska, we have some of the highest domestic violence rates. We have some of the highest alcoholism rates, and we have some of the highest alcohol-involved domestic violence rates in probably in the world, honestly. Just if you look inside
for long amounts of time with
and it's dark and it's depressing, and there's a lot of historical traumas, and with that, obviously, usually it's not the first time. So if John Jones is getting that drunk and he's making those types of actions in a hotel, which is that's just because it's private to your room, that's still a very public setting.
Yeah.
It's a hotel. Your children are there, or a child of yours is there. This is probably not the first time that she has witnessed this type of behavior. And more than anything, what's terrifying, for all of us as fans of MMA fighters, it's, obviously we're excited. John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. I can only imagine what his wife and kids thought of the fact that this guy is going to balloon up to 275 fucking pounds of muscle and be absolutely terrifying as a human being, and
beat on a little girl
and beat the shit out of your significant other.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously we're not into making, that's not our place to judge. I guess that's the best way to put it. It's not our place to judge. But at the same time, you're a mixed martial arts fighter, bro. This is you of all people are one of the most dangerous motherfuckers on the planet. Whether people are like, hey, you watch MMA? No, it's like, but you know who John Jones is? Oh yeah. Dude, there's no fucking reason why you should be putting your hands on anybody outside of the cage, especially a female, especially your significant other.
Yeah. At what point do you consider cutting the dude from the UFC? If to save the reputation alone. Miguel Torres got cut for a tweet.
Dude, the motherfucker Miguel Torres was one of the baddest dudes in WEC. And when they were coming into
UFC,
think
he beat Mighty Mouse.
I do too.
Yeah.
And what do? You over a tweet, he gets cut.
Yeah.
John Jones can drive intoxicated, talk to police officers,
have firearms,
street race, have firearms, kick the shit out of his significant other. He can get in car accidents, flee the scene of a car accident. There's all kinds of stuff. And it's like, Dana, at some point you need to understand that you are enabling the behavior. I get it. You're his boss. You don't have any relation with him. And every single time he's like, you can't even fucking invite the dude to Las Vegas for 12 hours without some shit popping off.
Yeah.
And with that said, I 100% agree with Dana, but for fuck's sakes, when are you gonna put your foot down and be like, this guy is a goddamn headache? It doesn't matter how much money he's gonna generate. UFC, I can remember a time when I thought, I honestly am worried about what the UFC is going to be like when Chuck Liddell leaves, when Rich Franklin leaves, when Tito Ortiz leaves, when Randy Couture leaves. I remember those days. I remember watching and thinking, How the fuck is it going to get any better than this?
Well, for a minute there, everybody was like, well, when is Anderson Silva going to leave? And then he hung on way too fucking long. But everybody was like, when he leaves, what's left?
But then no matter what, it's like any other fucking sport. It's like NBA when Michael Jordan retired. It's like the MLB when Ken Griffey Jr. retired, or fucking Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa or Mark McGwire. It's like, you name it, you name the fucking sport, it applies. There's always one guy that you can, to any professional sport. Wayne Gretzky for hockey. Sure. Fuck it. But it's always going to be there, Dana.
Yeah.
He is a liability. He is going to cause you more headaches than he's worth.
I mean, it's not good, dude. Abusing a woman is not good. Abusing a woman when you're a professional cage fighter is really not good.
No.
Abusing a woman when you're a professional cage fighter in front of your children is a really fucking bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck are you doing here at this point? Like, are you just waiting for him to fucking kill somebody before you got to cut his ass? Like,
but
there's got to be a line you draw, you know?
So obviously I've made tons of correlations between like professional wrestling and UFC, because I mean, that's the shit we grew up on. So I would hate for it to turn into a fucking Chris Benoit thing. And I don't mean to be dark and depressing, but obviously Chris Benoit fucking, I mean, the way that it is portrayed is that he killed his wife, he killed his son, and then he killed himself.
Yeah.
Who's to say that one of these nights John doesn't get blitzed out of his fucking mind, do some stupid shit, something he'll regret, and then at that point, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want anybody to lose their lives over some stuff that's avoidable. But
OJ Simpson days are over.
Yeah. But John will never, until he's held accountable, he's a fucking entitled, like, obviously it's easy for us to say this over the internet, over a computer screen. And you know, he's not right here in front of us on a computer or in person. But at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that he's entitled. He is a brat and he's entitled. And there's a lot of good points. So like DC, Daniel Cormier said that he feels like he should take some responsibility for the reason why John Jones is the way he is. And he said, like, obviously it's because had he beat John in those fights, then John would have some humility and he would realize that, you know, his shit does stink.
Yeah.
He is not as high up as he in his mind he is. But that's the problem. No one has been able to who out there has really put it on John and, you know, definitively beat him.
I mean, technically he hasn't lost a fight. So
yeah.
That DQ is bullshit. But
yeah.
So way.
The way that I view it is this. It makes me sick that the guy who is one of the baddest men on the planet can't control his substance use, and he is now taking that out on his family.
Yeah.
And that's,
he says he needs to quit drinking, but he convenently left out the booger sugar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
that's
involved.
Well, and it's like, I don't even know. I think for me it's just frustrating because it's like it's turning into, it's like Conor McGregor. It's like, dude, how many fucking times? How many times are we going to do this? How many times are we going to talk about
like
you?
The UFC allows these superstars to reach a point where they think they can do whatever they fucking want and get away with it because they can. At this point, they've allowed it. Mm-hmm. So until they step up and put a foot down and actually have some repercussions to these guys, they're going to continue to do what they do. You know what I mean? Conor McGregor's still going to be fighting people outside of the fucking cage and starting shit. John Jones is still going to be doing what John Jones does. I mean, some of these other fighters have had issues and they've been cut. Mm-hmm. But since they're these superstars that make the UFC a lot of money, they get special fucking treatment. Like, I mean, that's just the way it is.
I think that's another reason why I have so much appreciation for GSP, because you
He
look
was a
at
real
George,
champion, man.
he was like the truest and the most pure champion, because he was a guy who at one point was the highest paid UFC athlete, and he was clean. At least that's
As far as we know.
as far as we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He was clean. He didn't have any
Advocated for drug
outside,
testing.
huh?
He advocated for drug
Advocated for drug testing. He was a good role model. He, like, the guy wasn't a distraction. The reason why Dana White loved working with him is because it was a good partnership. It was a healthy partnership. GSP wasn't bitching about wanting more money and then going out and doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
So obviously,
I feel like John Jones has lost all of his fucking leverage about his whole
he didn't
like
get paid.
Yeah, like
What the fuck?
in my eyes at that point, I'm like, bro, you need me to fight now. Like,
Yeah.
like you need us. You better take this fight for half of what you were fucking asking for.
How about this? I will
Yeah.
I'll pay you $1 million,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
You want
Here's your legal fees, baby.
Yeah.
Let's get
seriously, pay off your lawyers with this. And it's just, for me, like I said, it's just unfortunate because you got a guy who's just this gifted athlete. That whole family, his brothers are NFL stars. And I mean, his brother Chandler is a fucking beast for the Arizona Cardinals. Dude, week 1 had 5 sacks in one game.
Why aren't these guys fucking talking to their little brother and being like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't see them. I mean, I don't follow along with their careers too much, but I don't see them having the same fucking problems.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is that they are in a team sport.
Yeah.
They played, well, Arthur, I think, retired. Chandler is younger than John. And Chandler plays in the NFL still. Like I said, he plays for the Cardinals. But they're on a team. That's a team sport. Dude, it's next man up mentality.
Yeah. In
the UFC, it's not that. It's you and
someone will fill your
alone.
spot.
Yeah.
Like.
But I don't know. I mean, we've spent a lot of time on this topic and we're kind of going in circles. But the thing is that it's just super unfortunate that a guy with so much talent and someone who's so gifted, like just naturally gifted athlete.
And he's had every opportunity to change his ways and correct himself, and he still hasn't done it.
So another thing, Alexander Volkanovski and Dan Hooker were on the Schmozone podcast, which I watched last night, and they brought it up, John Jones getting arrested, and Alexander Volkanovski is like, how many fucking times, how many opportunities are you gonna get? How many? Like, and then you piss it away every single time. How many times then you got guys like fucking Brandon Moreno, who goes on a little bit of a skid. You know, this is the first time he got cut. Goes on a little bit of a skid and gets cut, but has been nothing but professional. But you got dumb fucks that keep breaking the goddamn law.
We'll put it this way: if Volkanovski did this shit, they still might cut him.
Yeah,
like straight up, his career might be over
because he doesn't generate enough income. So
he should after that fight.
Oh fuck!
Fuck!
God, what a fight!
All right, let's move on to the subject though. The next one is basically Dana White's comments on Nick Diaz and his future. And
I didn't, when you brought this up in the notes, I honestly didn't see what Dana said. So
yeah, it was nothing like super crazy or anything like that. I think it was I don't know if it was at the post-fight presser or somewhere. The press basically just asked him like what he thought of Nick Diaz, his performance, and like what the future holds for him in the UFC. And Dana basically said that he looked amazing. He's like, they threw a shit ton of punches. He looked amazing coming back after 5 years off, or 6. I think. Yeah, but I think he said 5, or maybe they just misquoted or something like that. And that he had a long layoff. He came back, looked incredible, but he doesn't know what the future holds for him, if he's going to fight again in the UFC or not. And I was just I thought that was interesting. Like, how can you sit there and say that a guy looked great and you're excited that he's back and all this stuff, but also not know if you want to give him another fight or not? Like, I mean, I guess it comes back down to like how that fight ended, you know, like he was winning the fight. He was winning 2-0, I think, on the scorecards.
That's what I had it scored 2-0 for him
before the fight ended. But I think it was smart, man. I mean, it sucks to see him go out like that, but like, I think he was saving himself for another day. Like, he knew Robbie wasn't near going out, you know, like, I think he was saving himself for another day. He was like, dude, fuck, like, my nose is shit here. And like, I just think this is the right move. Like,
I don't think
that fight was going to change any, you know?
I don't think that, because no matter what, it's a lot harder to get in shape than it is to fall out of shape. So we saw photos of Nick when he was training for a triathlon, and it's like, holy fuck, if that's the Nick we're getting,
if he would have showed up like that, I think we would have been talking about a different situation here.
But that's the problem. We doubt he wasn't training like that. I think that he took the 6 weeks, because I mean, it was 6 weeks out, and that's a month and a half for a guy that hasn't fought in 6 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, he wasn't trained, like, he wasn't ready mentally, he wasn't ready physically. There's no amount, I don't really think there's any amount of training in the world that can really get you fully prepared mentally for a comeback after, as long as he was out. It could have been a year, and no matter what, I think there's going to be underlying issues with his, like, the guy deals with bad anxiety.
Yeah.
So I think those are just underlying issues that will always be there.
And I know he's getting up there in age and everything, but
38.
now that we've separated ourselves a little bit of time away from that fight, about a week, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think he should take another fight? Do you think he should be done?
No, I think he should. I don't think it was just the fact that he was fighting Robbie. I don't think that's why his heart wasn't in it. I just feel like his heart just wasn't in it. I'm not even joking. We were talking live while we were watching the fights, and I was like, dude, did he seriously just play us? Because he threw that spinning fucking lazy helicopter kick.
This is like a spinning heel kick or
and
shit.
I was like, what the fuck was that?
And then he continued to get beat up for about 45 seconds.
Like 45 seconds was just taking every shot. And I was like, this is either really smart because Robbie's going to punch himself out and then he could just go to work, which sure enough, that's what happened.
And the three punches he threw in between that looked real shitty.
Yeah. They were
like, then it he got a groove.
They were just fucking slow.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, man. Like,
it looked like he was afraid to throw.
Yeah.
Like he looked very timid, and it was like, and then he got in his groove and he looked good, but it took him a second.
This is just for me personally. I don't think he should fight anymore. I think he should be done. What are you gonna do in this sport? There's nothing there for you.
Yeah, I don't know where he can go from here, because if
he's never gonna fight for the title.
Ranked 15.
I mean, he's like, I shouldn't even be fighting Robbie. I should be fighting Kamaru. And Dana was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, you understand, like, Kamaru is the number one pound for pound.
Yeah,
and the newest rankings, and the newest rankings, Kamaru is number one.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean? What do you mean that you feel like you should be fighting Kamaru Usman? He's the number one pound for pound. You haven't fought in 6 years. Your last fight was against Anderson Silva, when Anderson was coming off of a broken fucking leg.
Yeah.
And you still lost. So what do you mean? That, like, there's nobody, I don't want to see him fight anymore. There's nobody, it was great. He threw punches and bunches, high volume, high accuracy, for both guys. I mean, they're both around 50% and above for their landing. But at the same time, there's nobody, like, if they were to announce a fight and they'd be like, dude, do you see that Nick Diaz is fighting so-and-so? I'd be like, why?
Yeah.
After that last performance, why? The dude got clipped in the third round, and I thought his knee gave out. No, the the guy, Nate Diaz, never quits. I'm like, God damn it. I wish this motherfucker would just quit. When I was cheering for Connor and those first 2 fights, I was like, man, this motherfucker will not go out.
Yeah.
And proceeded to, obviously, he won the first one. And the second one, he came back after getting dropped, 3 or 4 times in the fight and was busted up. And that's that fucking warrior spirit. Nick does not have that anymore.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if, like, I kind of sit back and think about that fight, and as good as he looked and all this stuff, and as weird as it was at the beginning, but obviously he didn't come in the shape we were hoping that he came in.
No.
But I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I wonder if he just off more than he could chew. If that was a 3-round fight, I think he would have got up. But he had 2 more rounds of that shit. And I think he was like, fuck this. And he wasn't in that great of shape. And he was like, dude, I don't have that. You know, like, this is going to look bad for the next fucking 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I think that was the end of the third, you know, he got dropped like that, I think he would have got up and he would have pushed it to the end of the round and probably won the fight.
Yeah.
But
very well could have. Yeah.
I just think that the 5-round thing, I think he bit off more than he could chew. I think he still has some in him, but it's whether or not it's worth it at this point. You know,
yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, I'd be happy either way if he did fight again or if he didn't, you know, the dude's earned it. But also, if you don't have it in you anymore and you just want to collect paychecks, fighting guys out of the top 15 isn't the way you want to collect paychecks.
Fight bare knuckle,
you know what I mean?
Or go fight bare knuckle or something.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know if that's good either because the power is not there. I mean, punches and bunches is there, but power ain't. So
yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, and we'll go on to the next subject here. We got basically another fight that was announced because Aljamain Sterling pulled out of his fight with Petr Yan.
He didn't get cleared by the doctor. That's what they didn't clear him.
Apparently he had problems training with after his neck surgery, is what I heard, for the reason why he had to pull out of this fight. And then Petr Yan is still in the fight, and it's going to be replaced with Corey Sandhagen because TJ Dillashaw is still recovering from their
knee
fight.
Surgery. He had to get knee surgery when he got caught in that knee bar.
Yeah,
he turned it and it popped. So yeah.
So I mean, I like this fight a lot. This is exciting. I mean, we don't have to dive into this one too much, besides the fact, like, just kind of express how you feel about it. I guess I think this is the best fight they could have done for this one.
I agree.
I think that it shouldn't be for the interim belt. I think it should be for the real belt. I think they should strip Aljamain because he got that belt artificially, in my opinion, in the first place. And this is the second time he's pulled out. So fuck that noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, strip him, make this for the real belt, and then whoever recovers first. You got Aljamain coming back, or you got TJ coming back. Whatever one comes back first fights for the fucking belt. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it should work. But
this is and that's, I think, where I have the biggest problem with this is that obviously they're waiting on Aljamain to get cleared. So Corey or Pewter is gonna win, obviously. Yeah. Unless it goes to a fucking draw or another disqualification. Yeah. And then at that point, if you win by disqualification, then somebody still wins. Yeah. But if it's a draw, then nobody wins.
Then we'll have a battle of paper champs.
Yeah. But with that said, it holds everything up because then Aljamain's going to have to fight that next person because they're going to have to unify. And then after that, that person's going to have to fight TJ because I think TJ is the number 1 contender. Yeah. But then if Corey ends up winning, then what are you going to do? Corey versus TJ again? Like this.
I mean, I'll watch it again.
I would watch it again. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, like, we just watched it not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I know that obviously there's fights that we see them do it, like, you know, rematches relatively quick because of, you know, either like look at Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo. Yeah. I think in this one, I I know Jeffrey is happy about it because Jeffrey picked Corey in that fight against TJ.
So did I.
And and he was saying, he was like, "Oh, you mean the motherfucker that won that fight is going to be fighting for the interim title?" And
I agreed with him, dude. I thought he won too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did.
I know. But at the same time, I picked TJ, and I'm glad.
I mean, it was close. It wasn't a robbery. It was close, but
no.
But I thought that he did the most damage and all that, and had the biggest. He was closest to finishing the fight.
Yeah, he had the biggest damage.
TJ was,
yeah.
It's what do you fight technically the guy moving forward, or you choose the guy that did the most damage? In my book, it's the guy that did the most damage, not the guy that's pushing forward the whole time. But different judges see it different ways. I mean, on a different night, that could have went the other way. So
I agree. I think in this one, obviously, we're gonna have our time to make a prediction on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like Corey Sandhagen has I feel like he is not going to be comfortable with decisions anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's going to be so pissed off. Like he is already
motivated.
Pissed off. Yeah. Just super motivated. I feel like he's going to be super focused for this fight. And he's going to be going, even if it goes to a decision, it doesn't change the fact that I feel like he's still going to be pursuing that finish, start to finish. I don't feel like he's going to take his foot off the gas because he knows what it's like to lose a controversial decision now. And that's what Dana always says it. He said it since fucking The Ultimate Fighter in the very beginning. If you don't like the judges in their scoring system, don't leave it up to the judges.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. And it's easier said than done, but
I mean, I think Corey Sandhagen's going to come into this thinking this is the real title fight, because I think he still thinks that Petr Yan is the champ. And then I think he thinks he earned this shot against TJ. So he thinks he's coming in here to fucking win this belt. You know what I mean? I feel like that's his mindset coming into this is what I think.
I think another thing that we need to keep in mind is that he fought Aljamain and got worked by Aljamain. He got put to sleep by Aljamain, essentially.
Yeah.
And that was just a good scrap in terms of grappling. Like it was just like, very good grappling exchanges.
I think they both improved leaps and bounds though too.
Oh, for sure. But I still don't have any respect. I just don't have any respect for Aljamain.
Yeah.
That because my thing is we watched numerous guys get a legal need or, punched after a bell or whatever the case might be. I mean, shit, Chad Mendes against Jose Aldo.
Yeah. After grabbing the cage.
Yeah. We watched Anthony Smith against John Jones. And it's like, guys don't want to win like that. Like, I mean, guys that are truly want to show that they are the best, that I'm the best. And I proved it because I'm the one that put that motherfucker out, or I'm the one that beat him on a judge's scorecard. Not a disqualification because the guy who doesn't, he need the motherfucker while he was grounded because his coach was like, hit him. So he fucking eat him.
Yeah. I mean, in that fight, like, honestly, he could have continued. Like, I understand the DQ loss there or win or whatever you want to call it. If he was sleeping, like if he kneed him and KO'd him, he didn't even look that rocked. He just got hit with it and realized he got hit with it.
And then he was
then he was like, oh no, and it was like, oh, come on, brother.
Like, man, seriously.
Yeah, it looks
have a little bit of integrity.
Maybe it hurt worse than I know. You know what I mean? Obviously it hurt. Whatever. I'm not gonna pretend it didn't.
I got a fucking 5 heads, so it probably won't bother me at all. I got a fucking caveman forehead, dude.
But I think he put on his acting chops right there and pretended that it was worse than it was, because I think the fight at that point wasn't going his way.
Don't go to Hollywood because that acting performance wasn't very good.
Yeah. But I mean, when everybody's calling your bullshit, not just fucking the fans or whatever, when other fighters are like, well, like, I don't know, buddy.
That's an
like
issue.
That's a problem. You know what I mean? Like you got that belt artificially and then you're acting like you're the fucking real champ. And it's upsetting.
So you know who his teammate is, right?
Who?
Marab Dovshili or whatever. the motherfucker that just fought Marlon.
Oh, okay.
And he straight up said, "I will never fight Aljamain." Well, I just won't. So I'm hoping that the UFC is just like, you know what? Like say Aljamain ends up, he beats everybody that's in the wakes. Let's say it happens and Merab's the next guy. And I guarantee you, if there was a good enough offer, I would take it, because
I bet he fights.
I would love to watch him just absolutely take down Aljamain and smother him for 5 rounds.
Yeah,
because Aljamain wouldn't be able to do it. So
he's got some submissions, but I don't think he could. I don't know. It'd be an interesting one for sure.
I mean, and I know Aljamain's good. He's a good wrestler, but at the same time, I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
probably not against him, but we'll see.
No, it would never happen because Merab straight up said that he wouldn't. But
the money, people say that, and then it's for a belt and cash, and then they're like, you know what, it's for a belt and cash. That's the only way.
Tito and Chuck fought each other, and they were teammates, or not? I guess they were teammates at one point, and then.
What was the one that recently happened? And it was because he's like, the only way I'll do it is because it was for a belt.
Kamaru Usman fought Gilbert Burns, and they were past training partners.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's the one I was thinking.
Fuck, I'd love to see Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington.
Yeah, but I mean, they just want to do that one, but they want to fucking do it under the right circumstances, I guess. Even though
Colby's got to win the belt.
Each other.
Colby's got to win the belt,
which doesn't make sense because they hate each other.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, just fucking do it then.
Yeah, just do it in the streets.
And that was my last basic subject for right there. And I guess we could spend the next whatever's talking about our fight picks for this card. I think we should just do the main card because I don't know shit about the prelims really.
Well, I know who Betch Correa is because she fought Ronda, and I know Antonina Shevchenko because her sister's the baddest woman on the planet.
I mean, there's people I know on here. Don't get me wrong, but
I
don't know enough. I
asked Jeffrey to send me his
on it. So
I asked Jeffrey to send me his fucking picks.
I mean, we still got till Saturday, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
I would have liked to have read them as we went along with this, but
I agree.
He's probably busy.
Oh, absolutely. That's the only reason why he's not here. So
okay, well, since I'm starting off, I guess I'll go first with my picks, dude.
Okay. That's the benefit of hosting.
Is it a benefit though? I'm not sure.
That's the benefit of hosting.
I don't know if I like to go first.
Now you got to work on your intro, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah. So for this first fight, it's Alexander Hernandez versus Mike Breeden.
Every Alexander is the Great, by the way. Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Yeah. Alexander the Great Hernandez.
I mean, if your name's Alexander, I don't know what else you could go with. You know what I mean? It's got to be the Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Alexander Hernandez in this one. I don't know Mike Breeden. I think this is his debut.
It's his debut, and he's coming off of a loss in the Contender Series. He fought last month in August, and it was a unanimous decision. So I'm thinking that the dude was just like stepped up, and they were like, "Hey, we need somebody," and I think he's a late replacement, is my guess. Okay. But the dude got 30-26 on one scorecard, 30-27, and then 29-28, I think, on another. But so one judge had him losing 10-8 in one round. One judge had him lose 10-9 on all the scorecards, and then another judge thought that he won one. So
I mean, this guy's got a feather up his ass or something, because somebody liked him if he was getting beat that bad. And then
29-28 on one scorecard.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
is that I could have read it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read earlier.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Alexander Hernandez. He seems like he's fought way better opponents. He's had some inconsistencies, but I think he's, for the most part, like, he's beaten decent guys. So I mean, he's been in there with Cowboy, which he lost, but
then he knocked Beneil Dariush out.
Yeah.
Cold. Like,
did he? I didn't see that one.
He knocked out Beneil Dariush cold. Okay. And
I know he was a
pretty
young guy that has a lot of potential, and if you just figure some shit out, it's gonna be like he's gonna be good. But I didn't know he fought Beneil.
I think that was Benil's last loss. I think I could be wrong.
Oh damn, he did KO him in the first round too.
In the first round, within the first like minute. Was that right?
Yeah.
Like it was like 45 seconds or something, or 50 seconds.
Yeah, 50 seconds.
Yeah. Man,
damn,
my memory is good because I just remember I was like, oh, Beneil Dariush is like a cemented name in this division. There's no fucking way he's gonna lose. And then he dropped his ass, and I was like, oh shit, like cold, like limp body, like we just witnessed a murder.
I mean, he's decision Trinaldo, and Trinaldo's a beast. His fight with Drew Dober, I remember that was a good one.
He lost that one, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
It doesn't say on here if it was a win or a loss, to be honest with you, on mine, but
yeah,
I do remember the fight though, and I like Drew Dober. I think when he's on point, he looks like a fucking world beater too.
I mean, he KO'd Chris Gritzmacher.
Yeah.
And that guy's just came out of a fucking war.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like this fight's just a gimme, but I mean, there isn't really no gimmies in the UFC because anything can happen in MMA. But
yeah,
I feel like Alexander Hernandez is the clear favorite here.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with him because any guy who probably got 30-26th on one judge's scorecard, and there's just because that just shows that there wasn't enough concise. Like if he would have gotten 30-27, like that happens all the time. 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. But one judge thought you got 30-26th. And I think with Alex Hernandez, it's just he's been in there with some really good guys. He fought Thiago Moises. Obviously, he lost, but Thiago Moises, obviously, they thought he was worthy enough to be fighting Islam Makhachev, which is another thing we need to talk about, by the way. Islam and Dan. That's something we should talk about right after this.
Okay.
And he's fought Beneil Dariush, who he beat, who's I think he's number 4 or number 3 right now in the UFC lightweight division. He fought Cowboy. He's fought some really good guys, and he's young, dude. He's my age. He's 28. He just looks a lot younger than me because I'm bald as fuck. So, but I'm gonna go with Alex in this fight as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to talk about that real quick, or do you want to do it after the picks?
Let's talk about it right now. Just real quick. We could just.
So, Rafael Dos Anjos had pulled out of the fight. I didn't read what happened.
I didn't even hear about it until you messaged me about it. Yeah. I was like, what?
So I guess he pulled out of the fight for some reason. I'm not aware of the reasoning why. I don't know if he was injured or COVID or what it was. I guess I should have researched that before. But Dan Hooker stepped in versus
Islam
Makhachev. So that's a good fight. And Dan Hooker just fought last week. So
Nasrat, it's not like he's out of shape. He's in fight shape.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a savage for this one. Because it's gonna fight in, I think that fight takes place October 30th or something.
Yeah, it's like that. Literally in
he's got 20.
It's in 30 days.
Yeah, he's got a month to prepare.
So
for
this is
a beast.
This is another thing that I was like, wait a minute.
Didn't these guys talk shit to each other before at some point too? Or no?
No, that was him and Charles Oliveira.
Okay.
He kept calling Charles Oliveira Charlie Olives. And it like caught on. He's like, come on, you think Charlie Olives is then that it caught on. But also on the Schmo Zone podcast. So shout out to the Schmo and Schmo Zone podcast. When he had Alexander Volkanovski and Dan Hooker on, they talked about that Islam Makhachev fight. And he's like, it doesn't make any sense for me to take that fight. Like, we're literally one away from each other. Like Dan's number 6, Islam's number 5. And he's like, so you're telling me that it's not like he probably, even if he wins, it's not like he's going to get a title shot. Justin and Michael, whoever wins that fight's going to get the title shot.
But I feel like this puts him in good faith with the UFC.
Yeah.
If he wins this, He's probably one fight away from a shot.
But I think, but here's another thing. Here's another big thing. New Zealand, or sorry, not New Zealand, but Australia, either or. Where I don't even know where the fuck Dan Hooker lives. I don't know if he's in New Zealand or Australia.
I thought it was New Zealand, but
he might be in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But either way, he said because of COVID restrictions,
yeah, he can't even go to his gym and shit.
And he's like, so you're telling me I got to be cooped up in a fucking hotel for 2 weeks when I get back in quarantine?
Well, maybe he won't go back. If the fight's going to be here, maybe he just stays here for the next fucking month and does his training camp.
Yeah, but what's his team supposed to do?
I don't know.
Like all of them have families.
Well, a lot of those guys are coming back here, right? Aren't
he talked about Izzy and Alexander, and
they're talking about moving to the States anyways.
To the States because of how ridiculous like they're like, so you're going off of rumors and just randomly showing up and trying to arrest me because there was a rumor that I was here training by myself in my business. So
yeah, that's fucking intense, man. These restrictions and stuff in some places and the
people
rules
in the
that
United
are just
States
so
can
fucking
bitch
weird.
People in the United States can bitch all they want about COVID restrictions and stuff. Yeah. Go over there and then talk to me. Talk to me about real restrictions. Like they're not even being compensated.
I could go down to the restaurant right now with no mask on and fucking eat somewhere. You know what I mean? This guy can't go into his building by himself.
Yeah, his own private building,
whether he has a mask on or not.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and we're not political by any means, but at the same time, that's pretty fucking ridiculous. Like, come on.
If you're the only person in that gym, like, why can't you go to that fucking gym? There's nobody else in there.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Even if it's just to fucking hit a heavy bag and lift weights, like there ain't nobody around for fucking 100 yards. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Excuse me. I think that he's probably being compensated pretty well because I think Dana does sympathize with the fact that like he's going a whole nother month without seeing his family.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna have to.
I would imagine that he stays here for that and that his team comes here.
I don't,
because they've already been talking shit about it.
So
I would imagine he'd stay, but we'll see.
Like, who's he going to train with? His team's going to have to go back to.
I mean, I don't think they have to. New Zealand. I mean, I don't know if they have to.
He talked about the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because on that podcast that was just from a couple days ago, they specifically said. He's like, there's no benefit to me doing this because all my team, we all have families, we all have kids. Like, we're all going to have to go back and we're all going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Like, it's fine for him. He's being compensated well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's going to pay his team, but do you think they're making that good of money that it's going to change?
I mean, I don't know. That much? Is Volkanovski his teammate?
Yeah, Volkanovski's his teammate, and so is Izzy.
I mean, I guess he just had a fucking.
And so is Brad Riddell.
He just had a war, but I would say they're all here. They might as well stay for a little bit longer and help their homie out for a little bit of fucking cash. But I mean, he's beat the hell up, I'm sure, and he probably don't want to help him.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't. Dude just got out of a fucking 5-round war where he almost got choked out like 10 times.
So I mean, I don't know. There's ways for them to do it, and. I mean, it's up to him, man. But he might go back and fucking quarantine for 10 days or whatever the hell it is, and then come back here with this team. Who fucking knows? Just to say what's up to their family and come back and get at least, half a month's worth of training here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's better than not being able to train at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you stay in shape, you just fucking go on a jog or whatever the fuck you're doing, if you're even allowed to do that, and then come back here and fucking train your ass off for 2 weeks and get in a cage fight against a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't got a choice. You already accepted, he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
And then for this next fight, I don't really know Macy. So this is Aspen Lad in the women's bantamweight division. Aspen Lad versus Macy Kison.
I would say it's Kison.
Kison. it's number 3 versus number 11. Aspen Lad is 9-1, and Macy Kison is 8-1. She's got a significant height advantage from 5'6" to 5'11".
5'9" is what I have here.
Oh, I
With
have
the
5.
with the
Yeah.
72-inch reach. And
Mine says Aspen's 5'6", and her height and Macy's height is 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. I don't know who's accurate and whose isn't, but I don't think I've ever seen Macy fight.
I watched her fight Marion Renaud, who just lost to Misha Tate.
Yeah, and that's her last
That
fight.
was her last
she won.
fight. Yeah.
So I don't remember that one, which is also telling to me. I think Aspen Lad should win this one. And I think, how do I want? I mean, I guess we don't do predictions on how, but
no, I think
Aspen Lad should out grapple her and win this.
I think Aspen Lad is gonna dominate from start to finish. It's gonna.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is you look at number 1, Aspen Lad. She is number 3 in the division right now. She called out Misha Tate. She was like, after this fight, I want to fight Misha Tate. Like, I want to. And it's like, yeah, good for you. I mean, you don't really have anything to gain from it other than the fact that she's a name.
Yeah.
But like Macy hasn't fought anybody that, like, if you go through and look at her record, most of the people that she's fought have a 500 record. Like, they're like 8-8. Or even some that are sub, like they're 6-8, 7-8-1. Like, I think she fought Gina Mazzani.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I know who Gina Mazzani is because of her hair, because it's like fucking bright red.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think there's anybody that Macy's fought that is even close. Like, obviously she's ranked 11th. So there's a reason why she's ranked 11th, because she hasn't really fought anybody. She's been winning fights. She's 8-1. Good for you. But who the fuck have you fought? Yeah. Meanwhile, Aspen Lad, let's see. She fought Yana Kunitskaya, who's a big name. And her only loss was Jermaine. Oh, dude, she hasn't fought in a long time, though. But her only loss was against Jermaine Durandame, and that was in fucking 16 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and also, I think one of the biggest things, the girl is 26. I almost said 16. Girl's 16. No, the girl's 26. She's young. She's still young in the game. So
she might KO her, but
I don't think she's gonna KO her. But I think I don't think she's gonna KO or TKO her. I think but you never know. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next fight. So you got Aspen Lad?
Yeah, I picked Aspen Lad. Yeah.
Okay, so we're 2 the same. This next one for me is a little rougher. We got Misha Serkinov in a middleweight bout against Krzysztof Jotko.
Yeah.
We got a number ranked 13, and Jotko looks unranked on mine.
Misha Serkinov was fighting at light heavyweight, so he's probably light heavyweight ranked 13.
Okay.
Because he hasn't been
down to middleweight.
He dropped to middleweight, yeah. Because I mean, if you look at who he fought Johnny Walker, he fought Ryan Spann, he fought Jimmy Crute. So yeah.
So he's coming off a loss against Spann, right? KO.
Yeah, he got KO'd in the first round.
Yeah, and then Jotko. So I didn't realize he was dropping from light heavy to middleweight here. I think he's going to have a massive size advantage then, strength advantage. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with Misha on this one then. Because they're both coming off of a loss here.
Yeah, see, my thing is that you look at who Jotko's fought, like he's fought some pretty good guys, and he's fought like David Branch, he's fought Uriah Hall, Brad Tavares.
His record's damn good too.
Huh?
His record's pretty damn good too. He's like 22-5.
I mean, the guys that he's lost to are guys. It's like, oh, okay, well, you probably should have lost, but he also lost to Sean Strickland, and I know Sean Strickland's on a roll right now. He just beat Uriah Hall, and he's fighting Luke Rockhold on that Madison Square Garden card. That's a fucking tongue twister. Madison Square Garden card. Say that 5 times fast.
No,
but
thanks.
yeah, I think that due to the size advantage that Misha is gonna have, I think that
lost a lot, dude.
Yeah, I know he's only lost 6 fights.
Yeah, but like he lost to Ozdemir by a KO.
It was a fuck at that
Glover.
time. Look at Volkan Ozdemir was a title challenger during that time period. Volkan was on another level. Dude, he was still doing this shit at that point.
But I'm talking like KO. Like he's lost to. So we got Ozdemir by KO. We got Glover Teixeira by KO. We got Johnny Walker by KO. We got Spann by KO. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of KO losses.
By knockouts.
But by a lot of dudes that are pretty fucking powerful and big too, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, Ryan Spann's a big boy.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that. We saw Anthony
He did
Smith.
sub Jimmy Crute in the first round.
Yeah, and Jimmy Crute's fucking good.
Yeah.
So
which leads me to believe that Misha has a good chance in this fight if he doesn't get KO'd.
I think that him dropping to 185, I think that that's going to help him significantly because he's going to have a size advantage. And yeah, he might not be as fast, but it's not like Christoph is look at who he's beaten and look at in the way he's beaten them. Most of them are by decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about Misha Cirkunov getting knocked out in this fight.
Okay. I was looking at this fight a lot closer when I didn't realize he was dropping from light heavyweight. I was like, dude, this is going to be a tough one. But I think that his size and strength and everything on this from him dropping down should help him win this fight. If I'm right. So, I mean, I got Misha in this one.
Yeah, we're both in agreement there.
All right. Moving on to the next fight, we got welterweight bout. We got Alex Oliveira, the other cowboy, versus
the Brazilian one,
Nico Price.
The guy who's coming off of one of the weirdest / boring fights I've ever seen against Michael Pereira.
That we thought was going to be exciting.
I thought it was going to be an absolute banger. And then at the end of it, I was like, bro, you better start smoking weed again because you're way more exciting when you're high. Because, yeah.
So Price to me is exciting, but he's also like pretty like inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But so is Alex Oliveira.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I was about to say, I was like, yeah, but so is Alex.
It's like you look at their opponents. I mean, they both beat Cowboy lost to Cowboy.
Yeah, Alex and Nico had a draw.
Yeah.
Or a no contest because of an IPO. I can't remember. Was it no contest with Cowboy? It was no contest because he tested positive for marijuana at the end. So it was a draw. Got ruled to a no contest because he tested positive for marijuana. And then he got fined. And then he had to do a suspension. And then when he came back, he was like, yeah, I'm not going to smoke weed anymore. And then that was when the Nevada State Athletic Commission lifted their ban on marijuana. I just remembered that.
Okay.
We're just tying one thing to the next.
I think on this one, this one's kind of tough for me.
It's hard because I don't.
Alex Oliveira is probably the better athlete, but I think Nico Price is gonna win this for some reason. I think Nico's got this one as a win. I'm gonna go with Nico.
I'm gonna go with Alex Oliveira by submission.
Okay. All right.
And my thing is that Alex Oliveira is honestly, I just was like, I didn't even recognize that Nico Price in that last fight.
Yeah, that was a disappointing one.
And then you just look at who Alex has fought, whether he won or he lost. You just look at some of these guys. I mean, Shavkat Rakhmonov, that's mine and Jeffrey's new boy, the guy who's undefeated, stud. he beat Max Griffin. Max Griffin's coming off a fantastic performance against Carlos Condit. I mean, he lost to Mike Perry. That's pretty fucked.
That's what's sad.
When Gunnar Nelson was doing his thing, he lost to Gunnar. He beat Carlos Condit by submission. Holy fuck, I might have to change my pick. The dude lost to fucking Yancy Medeiros by KO.
That fight was actually crazy too.
Fuck that. I'm picking fucking Nico Price. Fuck that. Dude
So
lost to Yancy Medeiros, dude.
You flipping?
I fucking flipped.
All right,
I'm flipping. I'm not taking that.
So we've got all the same fights so far.
Thus far. I was going Cowboy, and then I was like, wait a minute, you lost to Yancy Medeiros? What?
After I was like, you lost to Cowboy. I mean, the Yancy fight was dope. Yancy fucking put it on him too. But you lost to Cowboy and Mike Perry, bro. Like I don't know. Like,
yeah, I was like,
I can't do this.
I was like, wait a minute, you lost to Mike Perry. I'm like, that's kind of fucked, but
you were gonna forgive him for that one.
Yeah, I was like, and then I see Yancy Medeiros' name, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up here. I don't think so. No, I'm going with Nico Price.
All right. I like that. I think that's our first real flop ever. We got the middleweight bout between Kevin Holland, ranked number 14, and Kyle Dawkins.
His brother just had a fantastic knockout last week.
Yes.
And
I believe he's
prelims.
in talks to fight the Black Beast now.
Yeah. I think it's approved. I think that is like for sure happening.
Okay.
Soon, like before the year's over, I think in December.
I think, and shout out to Derek Lewis, Black Beast on Hot Ones.
I was fucking watching that shit, waiting on you to join the Zoom, and then I was like, fuck,
I watched about 15 minutes of it so far on my work break. So I gotta watch the rest of it, but it was good what I was watching.
Yeah.
So on this one, I got Kevin Holland. I think his stand-up is a lot better than Kyle Dawkins's, but this is all going to be determined by if his grappling has improved at all. And I hope it has. I hope he's really working on it, even though he's left AKA or whatever. I really hope that he's been working on it and has improved. So I got Kevin Holland in this one, and I think it's going to be a highlight.
Okay. I have Kyle Dawkins.
Okay.
In this fight. This is our difference.
This is where
here.
we part ways.
This is where we part ways, buddy. Sorry. But
okay.
I watched Kevin Holland get absolutely obliterated by high school wrestlers. Mm-hmm. I watched a video that DC put, and it somehow ended on YouTube. Kevin Holland cannot stop a single fucking takedown. He got taken down at will by Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson both. And all you have to do is push him against the fucking cage. And that's all you have to do, because then you can get in deep enough to get a takedown. Kyle Dawkins is a good fucking wrestler. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Obviously, he's coming off of a loss. And in his loss, he didn't get a single takedown. So he was 0 for 7 on his takedowns. But he attempted seven takedowns, nonetheless.
Takedowns.
In his fight before that, he won a decision. He got 2 takedowns out of 7. So there's 7 more takedowns that he's attempted. In his fight against Brendan Allen, who Brendan Allen beat Kevin Holland also. He lost, but he outstruck Brendan Allen. He had less significant strikes, but he was 3 for 5 on his takedowns. So those are 3 UFC fights that he has right now. Yeah. The dude is going for takedowns. That's all that I really need to know to make my pick, because I trust that he's confident in his wrestling and he's confident in the fact that Kevin Holland is not confident in his wrestling. That's all I need to know. So for me,
I like where you're coming with this one. I just think that Kevin Holland's stand-up is so much better, and then I think he's gonna be able to stuff a couple of those takedowns and stop this fight.
well, the thing is I think that the longer that this go, the worse it is for Kevin Holland.
Probably, yes.
I don't think he's gonna get finished. I just think that he's gonna get taken down
off his back. That's a fucking problem.
And
he can't sprawl and he can't get off his back.
He was at American Kickboxing Academy for fucking 1 week or 2 weeks and then left because there was a guy there that he was potentially going to have to fight at some point. And he was like, yeah, no, I don't. That's not how I roll. And it's like, bro,
probably
you're so. No, it wasn't a fucking high schooler, bro.
It's like, I'm going to
He's like, I'm probably going to have to fight this, bro. He's like, I'm going to have to leave. These guys kick my ass. No, I think what it is I think that he is going to get in his own way.
Yeah. I think he's got so much potential, dude. And that's his biggest hole is his grappling.
I've never seen a guy knock somebody out while they're laying on their fucking back and
right?
punching up.
Yeah.
And, like what he did to Jacare.
Against Jacare. That's another feat. I mean, Jacare was on his way out anyways, but that was a fucking crazy.
Nonetheless, he's still beast.
Accomplishment.
Yeah.
And all right, so we're separated on that one, which is nice. And then we got the main event here at a light heavyweight bout against number 5 Thiago Santos versus number 10 Johnny Walker. I think this is an interesting fight. I think this is probably the highlight of the card for me, which is probably why it's the main event. But Thiago Santos has looked incredible. The dude throws hammers, he has fucking really heavy hands. Johnny Walker, when he's on, he looks really incredible too. He's got really funky movement, and he's very athletic when he's not injured, or who knows what's going on with Johnny Walker. But he's
in his own fucking world, dude.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him recently, and he was talking about how this is his time, it's his division now, and he's going to smoke through these guys, and he's healthy, and he's going to do all this shit. And he seems very confident. I don't know if he's trying to convince himself.
It's like everybody's
or if he
fucked.
really is. Yeah.
I watched one where he told that he's like, yeah, these guys, everybody's fucked. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ.
So don't get me wrong here. I like his confidence, but I think Thiago Santos, and I think he's got a significant size advantage on Thiago as well.
Well, yeah, Thiago was a fucking middleweight who had to go up to light heavyweight because he couldn't make weight. So
I just think Thiago Santos's power here is going to be something that if he connects with Johnny Walker, he's not going to like that shit. I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm going to be honest. I want Johnny Walker to win. I just don't think he's going to. I think Thiago Santos is going to win, and I'm going to stick with him to win this one.
I'm in the same boat as you. I want Johnny Walker to win, mostly because number one, he's the younger guy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he has more potential and he has the time to prove it. Whereas Thiago's late 30s. Yeah. And he already got his title shot. And had he not gotten injured in that fight, I think he could have beaten John Jones. This is what I look at. Thiago is the last guy to beat Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive to do because Jan's a stud right now.
Yeah.
Thiago has been in there with some of the best. His last outing against Rakic, I'll be 100% honest. Looking at the fight statistics, it looks like he should have won, but I'm sure there was other things like octagon control that played into it. Excuse me. The dude lost to Glover, who's the title challenger right now. I think he got submitted too.
Yeah, so
some good old Brazilian on Brazilian crime. But I just, God, dude, I don't even know. I don't know. It's definitely a hard one.
This is just one of those gut feeling ones where you got to go with your gut, even though
Yeah.
like you want somebody else. Like I just don't think Johnny Walker's at that point in his career that he's going to go 5 rounds with Thiago Santos and win this. Like I think
No.
if there's a finish, it probably favors Thiago Santos, and I don't think this fight's going to go 5 rounds. Like
No.
that's kind of where I'm sitting at it. Like I got to go with my gut feeling that Thiago can finish this fight before Johnny Walker can.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also, here's another reason why I'm gonna pick Thiago. We've seen him be submitted, but I'm not worried about Johnny Walker's submission game. I'm worried about Johnny Walker's striking and his reach advantage that he has. If he utilizes that reach, that could be like huge in this fight. If he kicks his legs from the outside, if he uses his good combinations, straights and jabs, he should be able to pick Thiago apart. That being said, Thiago's built like a brick shithouse.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny's fairly skinny.
Thiago's willing to take a shot to give it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Johnny got beat by Corey Anderson.
Yeah. Can't forget about that.
No. And that's not a knock on Corey, but he got like beat on the standing to Corey Anderson, who's a fucking wrestler.
Yeah, who's known for not having hands.
Yeah. And so, I think that was another one of Corey's downfalls towards the end of his UFC run, like when he got knocked out by Jan, was that he didn't utilize I think he got caught up in the striking aspect of things rather than the takedown, and
that's what happens when a wrestler gets a fucking KO.
I know. So, I mean, that was his demise in terms of, he was overlooking Jan to get to John Jones and then got caught and just
didn't he beat Jan before that in a decision or something?
Yeah, he beat him by decision, I think.
So he thought maybe I'll do this shit again, and then he got starched.
Yeah. And then Jan, that was his comeuppance and was on his way. But yeah, I think that if Thiago does the right things in this fight, there's no reason why he shouldn't win.
Yeah.
I'm picking him because I feel like it's just the safer pick.
Yeah.
But if Johnny wins, good for him. I
want John, like I said, I want Johnny to win. I think he's the more interesting thing for the division. He's younger. He's got time to improve. To see him versus that what the hell's that Goro's name?
Oh, Yuri Prohashka.
Yeah, dude. Like I think that'd be an interesting thing. I think Yuri, right at their point in the careers right now, I think Yuri would win that fight. But in a couple of years, or give it a year or two or something like that, Johnny Walker versus him, their fighting styles, like the way they move and shit, or
I'd love to see
Yuri. I think it'd be entertaining as hell.
I would love to see Yuri versus Alexander Rakic.
Yeah, that'd be a good one too.
But Alexander Rakic is going to fight Anthony Smith, is what it sounds like, in December. Yeah. So there was some other fight announcements.
There's the one that's not official yet, but was Paiva and Paiva and Sean O'Malley.
That was one. Yeah,
they weren't saying it was official, but there's rumors that it's finalizing right now. And that's a good fight. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that one. So
it's finally somebody that I'm like, holy shit, good for you, Sean O'Malley, because you're fighting somebody that he's gonna bring it.
Yeah, and O'Malley has been asking for higher opponents. Like he tried to step up against Petr Yan. He tried to fight Dominic Cruz.
Yeah,
he's been throwing his name in the hat, and they chose this guy, which I think is a better fit for him because we're gonna see where he's at. If he goes out there and finishes this guy, you know what? It is time to move up. If you don't and you have a tough fight, we know where you sit. You know what I mean? Like
this is where it's a time like this where I really hope, because I think this is the last fight on his contract.
So if he does this, then he could re-sign for a lot more fucking money.
Yeah, a lot more money, and then he'll feel like he's like, why the fuck would I want to take tougher fights on this contract?
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, I understand it from a business standpoint, but if you're trying to make more fucking money, I'd be trying to get those, funny money fights, like the ones that Dana's going to have no choice but to pay you for taking those tough fights.
I honestly think he believes in himself so much, but I think the UFC lost a little faith in him when he lost to Marlon Vera.
I agree.
I think they were like, I don't think that you were as hurt as you thought you were or whatever. And that fight didn't sit well with him. And I think they're working him up slower because they don't think he's there yet. And he thinks he's there. You know what I mean? But I don't think the UFC quite thinks he is yet.
I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like for the longest time, I've thought that the 155-pound division is one of the deepest divisions, like one of the most dangerous divisions overall. Just like no matter what, anything could fucking happen. 135 is fucking deep. Like,
dude, almost everything below, like say 135 to 155 is fucking nasty, dude.
Yeah.
Like all three of those divisions are fucking insane, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like they're all killers. And
I mean, I think you
could honestly move some of those up and down some, and they'd still have tough fights. You know what I mean? Like some of the top guys at 145, if they went up to 155, I think they'd be insane fights. I think if the 55ers moved down, same thing. And I think 35ers, same shit. If you moved them up to 45, you'd have some tough ass fights still. You know what I mean? Like those three weight classes are like neck and neck with how tight and tough they are right now. 125 is another fucking, that's a different conversation.
For another day. Yeah.
And then 170, it's a deep division too, but like I don't
think it's nearly as deep.
It's ran by fucking somebody. You know what I mean?
Kamaru. Until Kamaru's like, you know what, I'm done. Kamaru's gonna rule that fucking.
And it's weird because we had a dominant champion like that at 155, and it still felt deeper. You know, we had Khabib, and before he stepped away, that division still felt like it was fucking insane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But with Kamaru at 170, that division doesn't feel as insane because it feels like he's leaps and bounds above everybody else.
But that's because honestly,
so was Khabib.
But I think. This is where, people talk about being loyal to your camps and all this other stuff. Dude, Kamaru was like, I don't feel like I'm a focal point here. And yeah, maybe it was selfish, but at the same time, the motherfucker went to Colorado. He's with Trevor Whitman, and he's so much better overall as an all-around mixed martial artist. His striking is some of the best that I've seen in quite some time, considering he beat Gilbert Burns with a fucking jab. He jabbed him so hard that that's how he ended that fight.
He knocked out the striker in Masvidal.
Yeah, he fucking cold cocked Masvidal and blasted his ass into the next dimension.
Yeah.
Like he Masvidal.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. The dude is legit. I know that he had that one stinker against Masvidal in Abu Dhabi. Oh, well. I mean, it was a last-minute fight, so what is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is what I'll say. Kamaru is so much better for doing that camp change that I don't even care. I don't care.
He's just improved so much. It's kind of scary as fuck. Like it really is,
And the dude is he's built like a fucking statue, like a Greek god. Yeah. I think there's something else. I don't remember.
Another fight you're alluding to.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
But
I don't really remember it. I don't really have anything else to.
I'm
add.
good, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta get to the shower and get to bed here soon.
Same, same. I got work tomorrow, and I've got fun children at work to deal with. I'm trying to think. I'm not interested in the fight card that's happening next week. Dude, it's headlined by Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez.
Okay. You saw all I need to know.
I don't know nearly enough about either of those two. I know Mackenzie Dern's got a fucked up accent. That Tim Elliott fight might be interesting, and the Randy Brown fight would be interesting. I mean, I think we should still do picks.
Yeah.
But I mean, we might not. I don't know. It's just
what's on the prelims here.
The next few fucking fight cards, like what?
I think they're just fluffer cards.
We need to get everybody fights. That's
yeah.
like we need to get everybody fights, dude.
This is like people that didn't fight during COVID need to come fight now, fuckers. You know what I mean?
That Costa versus Vittori fight card is going to be fun. So, and that's going to be the last one before they do UFC 267 in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So, yeah, awesome. I'm excited.
Well, I think that one for me about does it.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, as always, please make sure to hit us up on YouTube, follow or subscribe, like the videos, comment, just engage. I think that's the biggest thing is I really do enjoy engaging with you guys on YouTube. And then check us out on Facebook and hit us up on our podcasts and download those. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks for stopping in and good luck on your fight picks, y'all. Till next time.